We're good to go. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for coming this evening. My name is Alex Cantor. I'm the Assistant Scout Executive here at the Connecticut Rivers Council. And tonight is night 2 of our membership kickoffs. We did a successful one about this very same size at Camp Coleman 2 nights ago, which means we have perfected it for you. So you get the best version, and we're really proud of what we're about to present to you. And hopefully you'll learn something tonight. You'll be fired up when you leave here, and it will be a great evening for all. Before we start our formal presentation, there's just a couple of people I'd like to introduce. First and foremost, our council president, Mr. Bill Shea. There he is. He's in the back. Thank you, Alex. Can you hear me in the back? Awesome. Good evening, everyone. Really? I'm working up here. Good evening, everyone. Awesome. First of all, a big thank you to the June Norcross Webster Scout Reservation for hosting us tonight, and to the team that prepared and cooked this great meal. We truly appreciate your hospitality and your hard work, so thank you. Second, we want to get a little bit of a survey who's in the room here. If you're a Cub leader, raise your hand. Awesome. If you're a Scouts BSA leader, raise your hand. Okay. If you are a district committee member, raise your hand. Okay. And if you are in a council committee or council board member, raise your hand. All right. Awesome. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight and for all that you do to deliver scouting to our communities. When I stepped into the role as the council president last month, I clearly stated that membership is our top priority. Everything that we want to achieve, which includes strong troops, leadership growth, and life-challenging experiences, depends upon a healthy Cub Scout pack at the foundation. That's why this fall recruitment season is so important and critical. Every new family strengthens not only their own child's future, but the future of scouting. We must also focus on engaging new parents and young adult leaders who will carry scouting forward. Last year's recruiting session was very strong, and I'm confident this year will be even better. Thank you to our volunteers and professionals for the energy and the heart that you bring to the program. Together we will grow packs, strengthen the troops, and build scouting future. So let's make it happen. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bill. We very much appreciate it. Next up, our council commissioner, Mr. Bob Sanford.
Well, good evening, everyone. Hopefully you know the role of commissioners. Commissioners provide unit service. Our goal is to support units and make them strong and vibrant. In theory, every unit has a unit commissioner who reports to a district commissioner, who reports to myself, council commissioner. And really our 3 principal focuses, and we have lots of focuses, but our 3 principal ones are being the single best resource. We want to be your best resource for help, advice, whatever you might need. We also want to help you provide a BSA SAFE program, SAFE, and we also want to help sustain prolonged membership growth, which is why you're all here tonight. We also, as a part of promoting safety, we deliver in meetings like this safety moments. My safety moment tonight is very simple. It's encouraging all of you to have safety moments at your units, especially at the pack level. Where new Cubs coming into the program, just set those expectations of promoting and focusing on safety. I know I find through my work experiences, if you constantly focus on safety, everyone thinks about safety and is safer, less accidents, and we want everyone to have a fun and safe time. Finally, I want to thank all of you. You're the boots on the ground that make this program happen to deliver this fantastic program to our youth. And thank you for all that you do. Thank you for coming out tonight. You're going to hear some fantastic things and hopefully learn some great lessons and do some idea sharing and networking. So thanks again.
Thanks very much, Bob. And lastly, our third member of our key three, Scout Executive and CEO, Mark Schweitzer.
Raise your hand if you're the spouse of a scouter and put up with all of this. Any spouses? Thank you. You're not thanked often enough. My wife's here putting up with all of this as well. So thank you to our spouses. Who doesn't love race cars in the Pinewood Derby? I mean, we love race cars in the Pinewood Derby. This theme this year is my favorite out of all of our recruitment themes I've experienced over 28 years doing this. This is my favorite and it works. We're pretty excited about this. And this team put together, I think, a really good campaign to help you guys recruit as many new Cub Scout families as possible. And you heard Bill say it and Bob say it. That is the council's #1 priority. In scouting, we have a lot of partners. We've got charter partners. We've got families. We've got scouts. We've got donors. A lot of partners. I'm here to tell you our most important partner are our den leaders. We have prioritized Cub Scout recruitment, and you are our most important partner to get us there. So if there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. If we haven't met, please say hello. I'd love to meet you. And good luck with the recruitment this year.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. All right, we're going to get started now with our formal presentation. It's not very formal. It's very informal. First, tonight's objectives. First and foremost, I don't need to tell all of you, I think you know, scouting is better in a larger group, right? The more scouts we have, the more adults we have, the more fun our program is, and the better we are able to deliver that program. So that's what tonight is all about, is growing our numbers in our packs, which makes all of our lives easier, but it also makes it better and more fun in scouting world. You'll be able to do better fundraising, right? The more scouts you have available, the more popcorn you can sell, the more wreaths you can sell, whatever it is that you do for fundraising, you can amp that up if you have more scouts. Of course, more adult volunteers. Who here has enough adult volunteers in their pack? That's what I was hoping to hear. We have several slides, like 6 or 7 tonight on how to recruit adults alone. So stay tuned for that. We're going to make sure we hit that point in particular. And lastly, as I mentioned right up top, it is more fun as well. So that's why we're doing what we're doing tonight. Here are tonight's objectives. By the end of tonight, hopefully, you should know how, take this off, you should know how and why of sign-up nights. We talked a lot about that last year. If you were here with us last year, we're going to build on those concepts, but don't worry, if you're new this year, we'll explain it from the very beginning as well. We're going to share proven recruitment techniques. Many of you in this room had a huge success last year, double digits numbers of scouts, sometimes 20 scouts brought in through this fall recruitment campaign. We're going to teach you how to do that tonight. We're also going to provide, and we have already provided, several tools and resources that PACs can use to be successful. Hopefully each of you have picked up the free joining sign-up night kit in the backpack tonight. There's a lot of resources in there that are going to be helpful. One of the things that's not in there that we're going to talk about a bunch tonight is the free tablecloth you'll all be receiving. So that's going to help you with your sign-up nights. You'll be able to set up a booth kit on your own and drive scouts to your next sign-up night. We're going to explore strategies to recruit and retain adult leaders, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago. And lastly, we're going to energize and inspire your team. So those are tonight's objectives. All right, moving on. I am going to hand off the microphone right away to our first speaker, the District Commissioner from the Charter Oak District, Norm Noel.
Good evening. So why is recruiting important? Excellent stuff up here, right? But I want to know why you want to recruit. I bet you all started, your son or daughter came home with a flyer and said, here's pack 303, I want to join. And you went and he liked it or she liked it. And then sooner or later, they recruited you to be a den leader. And now you're a Cub master or a committee chair. Am I right? Okay, so So the reason you stuck with it was you saw the value of that program. So Scouting America has the best programs for youth. We have the program that parents want for their kids, right? Social, without the media. Challenging, without being overwhelming. A safe place to explore the world. Welcoming every kid with a path forward to skills and advancement. We're the ambassadors. We're the messengers to get that out to our neighborhoods and our communities, right? We want them to join with us because we're having fun, right? I hope you have fun. And that's what we want to do to recruit, okay? We got some other things here. We'll show you how to do it. But if you're enthusiastic about recruiting, I think we got parents, we have families out there that you can get to join, all right? So next slide. All right, recruiting techniques. Did everybody get one of these? 60 ways to recruit Cub Scouts. Okay? And this booklet, Scout Me In. The 60 ways to recruit Cub Scouts, the backside, administrative and follow-up. This is really key. Let technology work for you, all right? You have a website. You use QR codes. One of the most important things is responding to your invitations within 24 to 48 hours, right? So National has put out these ads on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and to get people interested. And then they go to beascout.org, right? And when you go to beascout.org, you put in your zip code, Cub Scout zip codes. Ooh, look, 201 is in Windsor Locks, right down the street. So they lead you, they get your information, and then they'll lead you to your PIN. So we'll talk a little more about the PIN, okay? I think we want to go to the next slide, PIN. All right, so who here, going mobile, who here recruited more than 20 Cubs last year? Stand up, please. 20? All right. Okay. All right. So what do you think? What's your name? What's the pack?
Kate, pack 221.
And what do you think were the key elements you did last year to recruit 20 new Cub Scouts?
We did the Rocket Night event. That's actually what we've been doing for a few years now, and the kids love it. They get to set off the rockets. We have other activities that they do. My daughter joined as a lion, and she's the wolf this year. So we've been doing it a few years, and the Rocket Night was a lot of fun.
Do you have a website?
We have a Facebook page, and there's another person that's in charge of social media. But I know we have a Facebook page, and I don't know if we have a website.
All right, thanks. All right, how about 15 or more? Who recruited 15 Cubs last year? Come on. You guys are letting me down. All right, 10. Who got 10? All right, tell me, what'd you do for 10? What's your name?
Pack 57 in East Hampton. I mean, mostly we were really on the ground game for, word of mouth. We do the open house nights at the school. That really brings in the lion group. So we had eight lions alone, and then probably 6 older kids that joined as well to the dens.
Do you use do you accept online applications?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Through Be a Scout. So when they get to your unit page, they can sign up that night if they're interested. So make sure on your unit pin you allow online applications. All right.
I'm Christy. I'm from Pack 43 in Killingly. So we recruited about 10 scouts last year in the fall, and we hosted the Cub Carnival that Chip Goss planned for us. So that brought everybody into town. Like, we had everybody. I mean, there must have been like 65, 70 people there at the park. So
community events, okay, are very important. All right. So before sign up night, where's number 5? You need at least 2 sign up nights, right? And if you're outdoors, plan a rain date, right? And I would make the September one something special so that you're going to divide your parents. You get more on this later on, but divide your parents from your kids. So the kids are busy. You could talk to the parents because they don't want to hear about applications and all that good stuff, renewal fees. What's your recruitment goal? A good goal would be 10 to 15 new Cubs, with 5 of those being Lions, right? Once you get the Lions in, you can have them for 5 years. So try and get those kindergartners. One of the important things, have a yearly calendar that you can hand out, right? That shows that you're prepared. So parents look, it's like, wow, look at all these cool things this pack is doing. And it'll motivate them to join. So your Be a Scout pin. Does everybody know your Be a Scout pin? You ever been there, right? So on that, it has contact information. Oop, am I out of that? Person, phone, email. If you have a pack email, that's the best one. And a unit website. You can list that all on your unit pin. And then you get, under additional information, you could put a blurb about your pack. We're Pack 201. We meet on the first and third Thursday of the month for den meetings. The third Thursday is our pack meeting. The fourth Thursday is the committee meeting at North School. So you can put that out there so they get all that information right away. So that's one of the things. Make sure your unit pin is up to date. I can tell you I checked in Charter Oak and everybody's is active, but I didn't look at them to make sure they have direct contact, okay? All right, so this year the incentive is for every new scout registered and paid. In the back that we have our Pinewood Derby cars. And so, I think this is a great deal because one of the best events in my mind is the Pinewood Derby, right? I go to as many as I can because I think it's wild to watch a tiger den of 6-year-olds jumping up and down as they race their buddies on the track. I don't think there's anything better than a Pinewood Derby. So they get a car. So they're already hooked into that Pinewood Derby. Okay? And I think that's it for me. Oh.
All right. Thanks, Norm. Very much appreciated. Next up, the Vice President of Membership and AV Extraordinaire, Vin Petrazio.
Thank you. So a couple of things you got to do before this sign-up night occurs. And advertising the sign-up night is obviously mission critical. You want to have, if you do have a social media presence, you can do it there. We did do some experimentation last year with actually boosting. That tends to work well. You can sort of identify geography and a demography. If you can have your schools post flyers, that's very helpful. Include the back to school events. So if there's an orientation or a new student and parent meeting for kindergartners or maybe first graders, that's an excellent place, since that's sort of your target, the lions and the tigers, to put a table up much like this. You just take and remember that that tablecloth is coming, so that'll be perfect for that, right? And you can drape that over and you're ready to go. Including the price of membership. This is something that we've been shy to do. And I'm here to tell you, as a 15-year veteran of Babe Ruth baseball here in Connecticut, that this is a really sweet deal. $13.30 a month is a pittance compared to $3,200 for 7 weeks of baseball in an AAU program in southwestern Connecticut for 7 weeks of baseball. So that's the range that we're in. And I got to tell you something, in that 7 weeks of baseball, I've had to eject and suspend coaches for fighting with each other in front of their kids. They just don't deliver the values that and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but you know, we really rock the house when it comes to value for money. Understand the revised Husky program. Did anybody not see our early June publication and our new Husky program fee structure? Everybody understands that? Good. Okay. And communicate with your district executive on flyer needs. We've got a terrific copier up in our New Hartford office, and we'd love to be able to do everything we can to help you and assist you. All right? I would say next slide, please, but there's nobody sitting there to push it. Recruiting is not necessarily Labor Day to Turkey Day. We can do this all year long. The new advancement program is set up for that. So if you do want to have a presence in your community, in your schools, if you can get there, in your religious institutions, please do that. Have an online presence. So flyers, Facebook, Instagram, radio, newsletters, that's all really valuable. Schedule the social media posts using our national planner, something that's relatively new. Okay, next slide. The sign-up night being typically your first meeting in the year, you want to focus on that enrollment, not just the normal program that you'd have at a PAC meeting, all right? So there's sort of a two-stage process going on. You've got the rest of your Cubs and all of the program materials that you've planned, but you also have the other half of the meeting with these new kids and their parents. So that's sort of a special focus, all right? Clear next steps. We're going to get into that as we go through the process. It's a step-by-step process. We want to be prepared, obviously, and you're going to find out exactly why the Cub recruiting captain can help you in that regard. You want to give families time to make a decision, but remember that if a family comes to your sign-up night, the expectation already is that they've learned about you and they're very interested. So it's really a well-qualified prospect rather than just a lead off the street kind of thing. All right? They've almost made up their minds. All they got to do is get to know you, see the value, and away you go. Andy is going to talk a lot more tonight about volunteer engagement, which is another one of our 4 pillars for goals for our council. And that sets the tone in that September meeting for the communications and the effectiveness of it for the whole year. All right? And I get one more, right? The hows of sign-up nights. So what we're really focused on here is having a PAC meeting as the first sign-up night. And, you know, there are, obviously, the weather is still good. I know some PACs have PAC meetings outside, which is terrific. Some of them combine it with an event, let's say a little fishing derby or what have you. But that first PAC meeting is kind of, it sets the tone. You've got a built-in audience because the rest of the parents and the kids are there. The kids are engaged, and you know how kids are. They'll go right in with the other kids. Some of them might be shy, though, so you might want to have some extra activities for them. And you want to make a very strong first impression, and that's a great way to do it. Immediately, you see the integration of the kids into there. If the parents turn around and their kids are already having fun, the sale is made, right? And it's time saving for families. Okay? Pat, you got a question? I got to put you on mic.
When I did the recruiting at the farmer's market, I must have made a really good impression because a lot of the parents were willing to give me their name and their email and that. So I took my calendar and sent it to them, and they got back to me and want to come and at our joining nights and that when it come to our first meeting that we're having the 27th and check it out.
Very good. So have that calendar ready. That's a great way to do it. Okay. I'm going to give the mic back to Alex so that he can make yet another introduction.
That's right. We're almost done with introductions. Next up, the district director from the Western District, Lucas Blinn.
Thank you, Alex. Cub recruitment captain. We have assembled teams of volunteers in each district, comprised of district and or council level volunteers. Folks from Cub packs that have had success in recruiting have now volunteered to help other units in their area recruit. I'm in the Western District, so I don't know a lot of you. Sorry. Raise your hand if you're a Cub recruiting captain. All right, look around the room. We got a couple of hands up. Those are people that have volunteered to help other units outside of their home unit grow. And the way they're doing that is by serving as a primary go-to for the sign-up night itself. So you figure out when your September pack meeting is. That date rolls around, and the Cub recruiting captain is somebody that will be at the meeting wearing probably a polo like this one. And they can welcome the new families. So returning Cubs and their parents, they're going to walk in. They know what's going on. They're going to get right involved. New families are going to walk in looking a little bit lost, looking around, kind of confused. Cub recruitment captain is going to identify those people and say, "Hi, my name is XYZ. Welcome to Pack 123. How'd you find out about us?" And just kind of start up the conversation. Find out what grade their scout is in and send that kid right away to join the den for their age group. Get that kid involved right away. The Cub recruiting captain is somebody that knows the scouting program. They know the Cub Scout program. They know what happens when a kid crosses over from Arrow of Light into Scouts BSA. They can answer questions they might have. Sometimes we have Cub masters that may have been a Cub master for 15, 20 years, and they're great at that. But if they've never really been involved in a Scouts BSA troop, they might not necessarily be able to speak to that program. So a Cub recruiting captain is theoretically somebody who kind of has a whole overview of the entire program. They help run the actual sign-up night. If the pack is able to provide a calendar and a budget ahead of time, that lets the Cub recruiting captain speak knowledgeably about that pack, even if they have not been at any of their pack events in the past. You know, they should be able to look at a calendar and say, "Welcome to Pack 123. Here we are at our September pack meeting. If you look on our calendar here, you see in October, we plan on having a pack meeting here at the school, here at the church, whatever the location is. We're also going to be doing the Haunted Woods at Camp Mattatuck, or maybe we're doing the fishing derby." You know, they have the list of activities that the pack plans on doing throughout the year. So even if they walk in and it looks like chaos, they look at the piece of paper and it says, like, clearly these people know what they're doing. They've got their act together. The budget helps them figure out what their costs are. Vin mentioned that we want to put the price on our flyers now. Some packs have unit dues. Some packs don't. Raise your hand if your pack charges additional on top of the national and council registration. Couple hands. So if you're charging dues, that needs to go towards something. Some packs put that towards advancement. Some packs put that towards uniforms. Some packs put that towards adult registrations. Adults are able to volunteer at no cost to them. Different packs run their pack in a different way, so it's important to communicate that ahead of time with the Cub recruiting captain so that they can speak knowledgeably at the sign-up night. They want to be able to answer questions and direct them to the resources to answer questions they might not know the answer to. And at the end of the night, after they've walked them through the sign-up process, they're going to collect any of the paper applications and any of the checks that people might be writing. We touched briefly on the incentive this year. In the back there by Norm, we've got the Pinewood Derby cars. Norm, can you hold up a Pinewood Derby car? In case somebody here doesn't know what a Pinewood Derby car is. It's that box. It's got a little block of wood, some axles, and some wheels. They hand in their completed application along with the payment, and they get that Pinewood Derby car right then and there. If your pack is using online applications, which I highly encourage, they can just like show you a screenshot on their phone that says the kid is registered. They get the Pinewood Derby car right then and there. If you have scouts that are on the Husky program, we do still need to do paper applications for those scouts. The cost for Husky this year is $60 per scout. Still a significant savings from the full price, but we do want to make sure that we know that information ahead of time as well. Vin, can you switch to the next slide, please? Great. So those are kind of like the 4 functions of the PAC meeting. You would have the welcome and sign in. That's where they're saying, hey, welcome to PAC 1, 2, 3. Find out what grade the kid's in. Send that kid over to the scout activity area right away. So once everybody's been welcomed and signed in, we do want to collect all of the info we can for the visiting families. We want their name, email address, and phone number. So on the off chance that they don't get hooked on scouting right then and there that night, a week or so later, the Cub recruiting captain can look at that contact info, reach out to those families, and ask them, hey, do you have any questions? Did you have any thoughts on the PAC? Anything I could help you with? Would you like to join? So the Cub recruiting captain is going to be doing the follow-up as well. Filling out the application itself. How many times have you had an application, a paper app, somebody starts filling it out, and they write their name and first name, and they fill out half the application, and then they get halfway down, and then it says parent's name, and they say, oh, do you have another application? So we're going to have plenty of blank applications, but we're going to help them literally line by line figure out how to fill out the application. People are also much more likely to fill out the application if you sit there and you say, okay, so now we're going to fill it out. Go ahead. Here's a pen, everybody. And that first line there, you're going to put your scout's name, last name, and work them through it. And they're more likely to fill out the application if you go step by step with them. So fill out the application, collect the fees, and then the program info and Q&A. That's where they give kind of the overview of the entire PAC program and then open it up to questions. Meanwhile, so while they're doing that with the visiting families, the PAC is able to run their program as they plan. So the idea is that the Cub recruiting captain is able to do all of the heavy lifting for the recruitment at the actual sign-up event. The PAC shouldn't really have to do anything extra in order to turn a PAC meeting into a sign-up night. We just want to advertise it ahead of time as a sign-up night and have a Cub recruiting captain able to run that. Did I do the same thing I did on Tuesday where I looked at it and I just explained everything, and now I'm going to say, I just said all this stuff. So yeah, and then we'll go to the next slide. I just said all this stuff. They'll provide visuals and handouts. In those accordion folders that are in the backpacks that everybody should have gotten when you walked in, we have things like that Cub Scout Adventures printout over there that lists the different adventures that different ranks do, the requireds and the electives. We've got a handful of other handouts in those accordion folders that will help with the sign-up nights. If you have a adult leader available to give like a testimonial, I have not been involved in a Cub Scout PAC directly since I was a Cub Scout myself. So I can't necessarily say what a PAC does, but if there's a parent that had a really positive experience at Battleship Cove or something like that, and they can talk about the impact that scouting has had on their family and their scout, testimonials from the family are great. Answer questions about meeting frequency, uniforms, and costs. Not every PAC does the full uniform. People want to know what they're signing up for when they sign up for it. We don't want to surprise them with, hey, you paid for a registration, and then they show up for their next PAC meeting, and you say, oh, where's your uniform? And they say, what are you talking about? And then you say, yeah, there's a cost to that too. So we want all that info ahead of time. We don't want to surprise anybody. We're not trying to hoodwink anybody. Answer any questions they might have. Next slide. Registration and applications. Fill out the youth and adult apps, paper or online. Have somebody fill out the forms or walking them through the online registration. And it's really important that we explain the safeguard youth training and the fact that all of our adult leaders are pass a background check. We want families to know that scouting is absolutely a safe program. If you haven't yet looked into the safeguard youth training, it is very comprehensive. I started to take the training. I didn't finish it yet. My YPT is not expired, so I got a little bit of time. But the Safeguard Youth Training talks about things that I hadn't even considered as something that we need to worry about in the year 2025, including like AI-generated images that somebody might like send to a kid and say like, hey, if you don't send me money, we're going to share this image, and like exploitation stuff I hadn't even considered. The Safeguard training is really getting out ahead of that stuff. It's a good training. It's pretty comprehensive, and then you only have to do a refresher every year, and it's a much shorter refresher. So I know the annual training thing, some people are frustrated by that, but it is a great training, and it's a shorter refresher. So that's going to be great moving forward, and we want to make sure that our families that are joining and visiting know how safe scouting is. the activity for the night should be something exciting and engaging. Not every pack meeting is necessarily the most exciting pack meeting of the year. You know, they're not all 10 out of 10. Let's try to make the sign up nights a really, really exciting one. Maybe a visitor with like a bunch of reptiles, or a really fun activity or game that the kids can really get involved in and participate in fully. Because if the parents are sitting there and they have questions and they get their answers and they're not sure if they want to fill out the application that night, and they say, we're going to take it home with us. And then on the drive home, they're like, so Johnny, what did you think of Cub Scouts? And he says, Mom, it was the coolest ever. They're not going to say, oh, well, that was the only time you're doing that. They're going to sign up. If the kid loves it and the kid has a blast, they're much more likely to get involved and participate. So we want the kid to have a blast while he's visiting with the Cub Scout pack. So show off the fun of scouting. Make sure that they know how much fun it can be. Next slide, please. So we want to be prepared to accept dues, the registration fees, and offer info on payment plans or assistance. Some units, one of the packs in my district is in Waterbury, and the entire pack is on Husky, but $60 up front can be a lot for some families. So sometimes they have it worked out where the pack might kind of pay for it up front, and then the family throughout the year maybe pays like $5 a week or something like that. Cub recruiting captains need to know what the payment plan is. If you don't have a payment option like that, you might want to consider it. It's worth looking into, especially for some of our families that might not be able to afford $60 out of pocket up front. And a lot of times, the families that are more financially strapped are the families that would really benefit from scouting the most. That's the kind of program that those kids would really, really benefit from. Again, we want to explain what the fees cover, the national fees, the council fees, if there's an additional pack fee tacked on, and what those fees go towards, and provide receipts and a what's next flyer with the next meeting date. So you kind of say like, well, here we are in September. If you had a blast with us, we hope to see you back in October. Here's a flyer for our next meeting. Here's the time, date, location, and here's all the awesome stuff we're going to be doing. And that flyer could be the same as the sign-up night flyer that you're using to promote. So not every family is necessarily going to be able to make it to the September pack meeting. We don't want them to think, oh, I missed the September pack meeting. I guess maybe we'll do scouts next year. Like we know that we focus on recruitment in the fall, but kids can join scouts any time of the year. But September and October is when they're looking for things to do. So if they visit in September, give them a flyer for the October event, and hopefully they come back for that one if they don't sign up right then and there. So if you heard nothing else tonight, if you're not sure what the plan is for the fall campaign this year, here it is. We've got Cub recruiting captains. They will work with you to figure out how to best promote your pack. Some schools let us do paper flyers. Sometimes it's relegated to Parent Square, and it's just a PDF, and nobody really looks at those. I myself have a 14-year-old. I don't look at any of the flyers on Parent Square. Just going to be real. If they sent home a paper flyer, I look at it. If it's on Parent Square, I don't see it as much. So ideally, we get to do paper flyers. That's not always the case. If we can't do flyers at all in the schools, which is the case sometimes, I highly encourage you to check out a Facebook boost. If your pack doesn't have a Facebook page, I think that's kind of crucial. A lot of times, it falls to one person to do a lot of this, and it's tough to get adult volunteers because people feel like they can't stand in front of a room and lead a pack meeting or lead a den meeting. But I promise you, you've got somebody in your pack that already spends too much time on Facebook. So maybe they could become the admin for the page, and you can schedule all of your Facebook posts for the entire year. It takes about a half hour. You schedule it all out, and then you can spend like $10 to boost a post, and you set the target demographic that you're looking for and the area. So you say like, I want this to show up on the Facebook feeds of men and women ages 25 to 40 in a 10-mile radius around this spot. And then when those people log on to Facebook, they scroll through. They will see pack 123 sign up night at this event, and you can. National has a ton of resources on the BSA Brand Center. Really fantastic flyers and images and graphics that we can use to promote our units. So have a Facebook page. There is a difference between a page and a group. A page is much more publicly facing. A group is great for internal communications. So you could have both, but at least a page. So they help the pack get ready. They make sure that people know about the event ahead of time. They greet the new families as they come in. They collect their contact info so that they can follow up with them again later. They support the pack volunteers with the program that they're running. They provide the incentive. So the Pinewood Derby cars, the Cub recruiting captain is going to come with a box of Pinewood Derby cars to give out to the new families as they join. They're going to be doing the follow-up or at least coordinating with the pack leadership. You know, if you have a sign-up night and you've got like 30 families that visit, 20 of them sign up and then 10 of them say, maybe we'll sign up later. You could split that up. Cub recruiting captain will call 5 of them. Maybe the Cub master can call 5. But they will ensure that follow-up happens. And the Cub recruiting captains communicate with the district. So in the West, I've got 7 Cub recruiting captains and myself. So theoretically, the 7 of us should be able to have a Zoom call where we pretty much cover every single pack in the district, and we know who's having what signups, and we can kind of, it's just a little bit more manageable than one district executive talking to every single Cub master and committee chair. Not to say that you can't reach out to any of your district professionals anytime. That's what we're here for. Please feel free to do that. It just, many hands make light work. And if we break up the recruiting efforts, it's easier for all of us. So that just about wraps it up for my portion. Thanks very much for listening to me ramble. And I'm going to throw it back to Alex.
Thank you. Thanks, Lucas. All right. Our final new speaker of the night. You know him, the district chairman of the Leaders of the Revolution District, Mr. Andy Powell.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for taking the time to come out tonight. As we've been saying, recruitment is actually job number 2 because safety is job number 1, right? We have to make sure that folks are safe. But having more scouts, having more Cubs, what do you want me to do? Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it. Okay, this is the right side. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Now I'm lost. Recruitment for Cubs is absolutely critical for the success of the program in the long term. Yes, we do get scouts coming in, 5th, 6th grade, but in reality, we need to be able to have our Cub packs full. And I think one of the great things that we've done is really focus on, recognize this, and then execute. We're good at getting Cub Scouts in. We're actually, I think, number 7 in the nation in our size last year. So your efforts, the district and the council's efforts have done a great job. But we need to have more adult leaders. Alex took my line. Which pack has too many adult leaders? All right. There's always a need for somebody else. Your pack deserves too many adult leaders because then the job becomes easy for everybody. So now the question becomes, how do I get adults into my pack to feel comfortable and make things happen? You all understand this because you're sitting here. You're an adult leader for the pack or for the troop. Now the question is, did somebody ask you to do it? Or did you just feel the urge? Most likely somebody asked you. You had the urge right back there? No. There you go. And it's an ask. And that's the thing, is that it's okay to ask for help. I will tell you from personal experience as a Tiger Den leader and then as a Cub master, if I didn't ask for help, we would not be successful. Our pack wouldn't have grown from 50 to 105. If I would have tried to do that all by myself, I wouldn't be here right now. All right? So you have to look at how am I going to help this pack? I've got to have more adult leaders. And that's the first thing to remember, is that it's okay to ask. Don't do it all by yourself, because it's going to drive you crazy. And as it drives you crazy, what's going to happen to the program? The program goes down. So the first thing you have to do is try to figure out, how am I going to attract adult leaders? And one is going to be asking them, but then also how you ask them is really important. Now, I can do this, and I know I'm going to drive Vin crazy as I go through things, but it's, don't say, hey, you want to be the charter org rep? And somebody looks at you and says, what's that? But no, I don't want to do that. But how about bringing cupcakes to the next event? hey, do you have any experience in doing Pinewood Derby? Do you have experience in Facebook? Or do you have experience in doing something else? Find something that they are comfortable in. Now, this slide, I love this slide. It ties into the next one as we go forward. Just don't be generic. Have in your head 3 or 4 different things that need to get done, because you've got a plan for your meeting or your plan for your event, and you know all the steps that have to go there. Somebody could just bring the poster board, or somebody brings the Elmer glue, or something like that. Find something and have it in your head that I need help doing this. Now, it may come out to be, I need to have a den leader. How about I split it? I'll buy you another patch that says den leader. How about that? If that's the thing that's stopping you because you don't have that much money to get one more patch, we'll make that go away. So if you look at that list, I need to be able to have enough adult leaders to be able to provide the program for my Cubs, and I do that by splitting up responsibilities. And that's the big thing, is to know what you're doing so you can then have the right people to do it. Now, you may have a group already in place right now, but guess what? The thing about cubbing is that you're going to lose them. You need to have a line of people, that long blue line, that's going to be there. Because after you move, and it does happen, you will move away, and hopefully you'll go to scouting, somebody's got to be coming up with you. So not only is that person who initially showed up with the Elmer's glue starting out there, in 5 years, they could be the Cub master. So you don't know who's going to stay, but you're getting them involved. See, they're flying in right now. You know, that's it. You just got to ask them to land. I didn't do that. So you start out with a small task. Who's going to be my photographer for the Pinewood Derby? Who's going to help us go to, is that the second C-130 flying by? We got lots of them coming in. So it's not only just you asking, have them ask. Once you've got a den leader, have them ask for an assistant den leader. Have them ask for somebody to take pictures at their den meeting. Because now, as the leader of the pack, you now have to look at giving those folks that are in the dens the opportunity to expand their team. And that's real easy, because you ask them, they can ask the next person to come on up. And once again, like I said, it's okay to ask. It's not a question of control. It's a question of delivering the best program for the packs. So, personal invites really make a difference. You can do the generic, and that's expected, but then getting somebody at the side of the meeting or as they're leaving or something else like that, or at an event where the scouts are having a great time, perfect opportunity to say, hey, the next Cub pack meeting that we're having, I need somebody to do this. Can you do that? And they're all caught up in the example, and they're going to say, sure, I'll be there. Because my son or daughter is having a great time. I want to be involved and go from there. So, team-based leadership, so that everybody feels included, that nobody feels isolated in terms of things, and you've got a shared load so that not one person's going to get burned out. Does that make sense? All right. Like I said, you don't have to own the job. It doesn't have to be solo, and it could be teamed together. Let's go to the next one. Oh, you got that? Appreciation. Tell these leaders, tell the parents, thank you. Thank them in public at the event. Hey, I'd really like to thank Chip Goss for spending all that time in the back making the pork. Didn't he do a great job, everybody? And you know, Alex did an amazing job setting this up. Thank you very much, Alex. We really appreciate it. That took me about 5 seconds. It's going to mean the world to the people that are doing it, because one, my effort was recognized and I felt good about it, and it made a difference. Say thank you all the time. Give them a certificate suitable for framing. Thank you for all your work in the last year. You know, as district chair, we love to hand out the, oh gosh, there's, what's our award? Chip, what's our unsung hero award? Avery Award. That's something for every pack, every scout troop, every explorer post. Give out the Avery Award. You're an unknown. You're not the cub leader. You're not the scout leader. You're not even a den leader. You could just be just a parent who showed up and did a really good job for one event. Maybe they coordinated with the fire department to be able to help you with an emergency preparedness event. Give them a plaque. I mean, or get them a certificate or something, because it makes a difference. It doesn't cost the pack, doesn't cost the organization that much money, but you've now invested in that individual, and they're more likely to come back and do something else. And then guess what? They may have friends that may help out also. So not only have you helped that one person help the pack, you now have somebody else that could be bringing in other folks as well. We're all doing this for a reason. We want our youth to have opportunities to learn things, to have experiences that they would not get in school or sports or other places. My ability to communicate in a large organization or a large event is because I was a senior patrol leader of a scout troop in Ohio. Didn't know public speaking, but you had to learn it real quick. Everybody thinks scouting is about knots and fires and fishing and camping. Who thought they'd teach public speaking? You don't know what skill that youth is going to have, but you're giving them that wide opportunity to be able to try lots of different things. And you're also going to give the adults the opportunity to provide that for them or give them another way of doing things outside of work. You know, I see scouting as being a stress reduction environment for me. Things get tied up in work, things get crazy. I get to help people, and it makes me feel good. Give somebody else that opportunity to give that opportunity to be able to decompress a little bit. And yeah, it might be a little bit stressful, but they're going to enjoy it. You're here. You're enjoying it. Why not let somebody else feel that same sense of joy? All right? And don't forget, the whole aspect of this is to be able to give those youth the opportunity to grow and be solid citizens in 15, 20, 60 years. That's the game we're playing here. The long game. If we didn't do a good job and if we didn't have good adult leaders, scouting would not be beyond 100 years in the United States. Lots of youth organizations didn't make it as far as we have. It's because of our adult leaders and our program that we're able to provide this program going forward in the future. And this is where it's absolutely crucial. So we do that by thanking our volunteers. Next 125. As you're doing that sign up, the other trick is have a list and find out what skills that person has. On that list, you're going to have different things. It could be, are you accounting? Are you a photographer? Do you Facebook? Do you social media? Do you are you in public protection? Or, you know, whatever the skill is. But one thing you absolutely want to make sure at the top of that list, do you have scouting experience? Were you a scout? In particular, you want to have a line on there saying, are you an Eagle Scout? Because guess what? That person owes the program. And they know it. Because this program made them who they are. Here's their opportunity to cash that check that somebody wrote for them a long time ago. They want to do it. You just got to ask them. And all that experience that they had, all that joy and excitement that they had, that they're now bringing to their kids, they get the opportunity to share in it now. They want to do it. You just got to ask them. And if they say no, tell us. We'll go talk to the National Eagle Scout Association, and we'll get some folks over and kind of nudge these people and say, come on, it's time. Because you are who you are because of scouting. So having that survey to see who has these experiences, that gives you the opportunity to go off and target exactly who I need to get to, or not just you, because we're talking about having multiple leaders. Maybe it's your vice chairman or your assistant cub master or your assistant den leader. Have them go ask. So it's not just you, it's also everybody else. Because the goal for next year is that we have a larger dining hall next year. I want to see that larger dining hall filled up with adult leaders so that we have an even bigger membership drive going through next year. And that only happens if we ask other people. But absolutely on that survey list, make sure that you've got Eagle Scout on that list. Are you one? Because that person is absolutely someone that needs to be involved and most likely will be involved and will do a great job with it. So the why. Because it's all about why. And this is, I started out helping because my kid was having so much fun and I stayed with it because it was rewarding. Not rewarding just for them, the scout, but rewarding for them as the adult. Because I am now making a difference, not just in my family, but with other families, but once again, for the entire community. The communities today, this is a rich time. I've said this before in other presentations. This should be the second golden age of scouting. We are desperate for solid and legitimate leadership in this town, in this state, and in this country. Nobody does a better job of preparing youth for adulthood and leadership than scouting. This is an opportunity, like I said, for the long game of setting it up so we don't have to worry about things in the future as much by having more leaders. And the fantastic thing is we have the opportunity to not just do boys, but also have girls involved in this as well, because we're able to provide the best youth leadership development program to them as well. Now, my sister was a Gold Award leader in Girl Scouts. All right? But guess who helped out that troop? My dad and I. Because we saw that as we wanted to help out. But I'm telling you, we have the best program. We have the opportunity for both the youth and the adults to be fully engaged. All we have to do is ask. And then thank them. And then they can do the speech next year. And I can stand back and eat more pork and have some more cornbread. But that's okay. So, have your list of the things that need to get done. Figure out what steps need to get there. Ask people to fill in those positions. Then thank them. And then watch the fun happen. I greatly appreciate your engagement here today. We were 7th last year. Let's see if we can get the 5th this year. And this little state of Connecticut can once again be an additional leader to show the rest of the nation that scouting is alive, scouting is growing, and we have fantastic adult leaders here in the state. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you very much. All right, just a handful of slides left, just 2 or 3 left. We're almost done. Thank you very much for your patience. There we go, perfect. So after your join night is just as important as before and during the join night. If you don't do this step here, all the work that you do during the join night and leading up to it will be for nothing. So it's very important to collect the sign-in sheets. Lucas mentioned that earlier. That's for a number of reasons. You want to be able to follow up with families, invite them back if they didn't sign up that night. It might be that second ask that is the reason a scout ends up joining our program, and you never know where that scout's going to end up going. So always make that extra phone call if you can. Lastly, you want to collect applications and process the payments and turn those into your district executive team, or the Cub recruitment captain can help make sure that gets to council. You do not have to drive it to our Hartford office. We will come pick it up from you. We very much want to come get that stuff right away. So if you have applications, you have checks in hand, let us know and we will come get it from you and process it right away. And all of that is going to end up with your district membership team so we can see how you do. Lastly, we have a slide here on the 2025-2026 registration fees. This went out in an email, I don't know, 2 months ago maybe. Very slight increase on the youth side. Obviously, the Husky price there has gone up a little bit there as well. It is still $5 a month. We do realize that the increase is hard to handle, but we try to keep it as affordable as we possibly can. And you see the adult leader fee there as well has gone up to $80 from $77, so just a $3 increase there. Just if I could share a couple of points with you before I turn it over to Vin to close. This system that we've outlined tonight really does work. It is a solution to a problem. If you don't know how to go out and recruit Cub Scouts, follow this plan to the T. I promise you, you will be successful. We are here to help and assist through that. Don't feel like you have to suffer alone. We very much want to assist you and help you through that process. But that being said, if you are already doing something completely different from this that is working, don't feel like you have to change. We want to support that too. So if you have a successful recruitment plan that is working, continue to do that as well. Before you leave tonight, there was an IMP, a membership plan survey. I saw many of you filled it out already. Please do that and fill it out quickly if you don't mind, and turn it into either Ricky Ann or any of our staff here, Lucas, Pat, myself, anybody. We'll collect that from you. The Pinewood Derby car incentive, we briefly went through that. Let me be very clear. Any new Cub Scout who joins between today and Thanksgiving will receive a free Pinewood Derby car. That's new Cub Scout applications. We will give you a Pinewood Derby car for every application you turn into us between now and Thanksgiving. So use that as an incentive to help you close the deal. If you have scouts that are wavering on the edge, show them the Pinewood Derby car. We'll trade one for one. It works really, really well. Lastly, we mentioned the tablecloths that you'll be getting as a part of your backpack kit. Unfortunately, those did not arrive on time, so we would have liked to have given them to you tonight, but they'll be here next week, unfortunately. So please check us out at the next roundtable coming up in just a couple of weeks here. We will have the tablecloths there for you. Every single pack is going to get a tablecloth from us, which will help you in perpetuity with recruitment. On the way out, you'll see the yard signs that are in your backpacks. The metal frames are there on the way out. So as you're walking back to the parking lot, you can grab the metal frames, and that will go with your signs. And lastly, see Pat in the back, Pat Mallon in the back. He'll help you update your Be a Scout pin if you need to do so tonight. All right, in closing, Vice President of Membership, Mr. Vin Petrazio.
They made me put my picture up here with these other 5 people, but the truth of it is that these 5 people up here, and then the 4 membership chairs in each district. Tim, are you here, Tim Lombardo? Tim is back there, the membership chair for the Southeast District. TJ couldn't be with us tonight. He's the membership chair for Leaders of the Revolution. Aline Souza is down at the U.S. Open in New York City because she does production stuff with that tennis tournament. And Devin Hornberger joined us Tuesday night at Warcomen. And these 5 people, number one, they're a lot better looking than I am. But number 2, I think that's a given because they make me look really good. So thank you very much. Not only did Chip cook our meal, but he cooked up all the graphics here. So thank you very much, Chip. Appreciate it. Before I wave the green flag, I got a couple things I want to say. The first is, where's my notes? There they are. We talked for a little bit more than an hour about recruiting Cubs. And I want to talk for about 2 minutes about Cubs recruiting. Just take these 2 words and switch them. In your packet, there's beascout.org wristbands. I've got an old worn-out Matitech wristband here, but those wristbands, what we found is that if you take and say, hey, I'm going to give you 2 of these. Why am I giving you 2 of these? And what would you say? Because I got 2 arms, right? And that's when you say, no, you're going to go to school tomorrow and give it to a friend. They go home, the parents see beascout.org, they log in, they put their zip code in, they already know who you are. Hey, I want to go do this. It's a great way to recruit, okay? When they do that, they get a recruiter strip. National has said, hey, this is a really good idea. We're going to give these to you for free. So they're behind us. Here's 50 of them. As many as you want, we'll get them out to you, all right? In addition to that, this is what the certificate looks like. So this is a big deal, right? Wouldn't it be really cool? our Cub Scouts that are here tonight, if you got that patch and a certificate, this one says it's presented to Ted Williams for your efforts in actively growing Pack 9 in the Boston Red Sox district. You'll also see that there's a little card on the bottom. And for those of us that are a little bit gray on the head and long in the tooth, you'll remember underneath the wolf and bear ranks, when we were wee nippers, for extra activities, you got arrow points, right? Remember the arrow points? Where'd they go? Here they are. I got 250 of them here, right? Well, they're back again because our council executive has a little bit of leeway on uniforming. And what he's done is said, Vin, that's a pretty good idea. Why don't you take those arrows, and for every additional kid that somebody recruits, we can take and put these arrow points underneath the recruiter strip on the right pocket. So I'd love to see a kid with these arrow points all the way down their pants because they brought in 20 new kids. These are also free of charge, okay? What we didn't talk about tonight is Scouts BSA recruiting. A lot of this is focused on the Cub impact, and we hope those Cubs are going to cross over. But we do have some ways for troop leaders here tonight, and a lot of us are you know, in both, we do both. But for those troop leaders, one of the best things we can do is partner with a pack. And you've heard us say this for a couple of years now. If you have the ability to share committee members between the pack and the troop, that's excellent. One of the best things and best leadership positions that we have available to us is the den chief. If we had a den chief in every Weeblo and AOL pack in a den in the council, imagine what our crossover percentage would be. It'd be nearly 100. To a 9 or 10-year-old, a 13 or 14-year-old is a rock star, has much more influence on a kid than I do at 60. Local publicity, community service projects, particularly in churches and schools, are a great way to be seen by the outside, and they often can be tied to a fundraiser. And then, in addition, direct marketing to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is becoming, it was rare, now it's becoming more popular, okay? David Montgomery from the Detroit Lions, the running back, for those of you that are football fans, you'll remember he scored the first Lions touchdown on Thanksgiving Day. He walked into the end zone, put the ball down, and held the scout sign up. I can't imagine a better way nationally to recruit than saying it's really cool to do sports and scouts at the same time. National now sees that and are helping us. Are there any questions about what we've covered tonight? Of course. Yep. Okay. So let me take us out here and wave the green flag. Why is recruiting our number one thing? There's a lot of things I could say. I could say that CRC's goal is to recruit 1,000 new Cub Scouts between Labor Day and Turkey Day, and we want to meet that goal. I could say, from my MBA, is that the revenue generation of signing a Cub Scout up at the sign-up night begins what we call a recurrent revenue stream, because that kid is going to go to camp, they're going to go to district functions, they're going to go and continue to do these things not only in the pack, but hopefully in the troop beyond. Our field team that you saw the picture before, they're incentivized to make this happen. I want to see them be successful. For those of you that know me, I have a very competitive nature. I want to be on the podium. I don't want to be 7th or 8th or 9th. I think we were 9th, right? 7th, whatever we were. I want to be 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. So I've got 230 councils out there. I want to beat them all. Okay? I'm a volunteer. That means I'm the easiest person in the room to fire. So please, go out and make this happen so I can keep my job. And lastly, I don't have anything better to do. For those of you that know me, I don't have a wife telling me to mow my lawn on the weekend, so I do more yard work at Mattituck than I do at my home. So I'm a little nutty when it comes to this. But none of those are the real reason. So I'll just rip these up because they don't matter. The real reason is if when we get out of here tonight, and I guarantee you'll be home to watch the news at 10 o'clock, and you're going to shake your head again tonight, just like you did last night. And one of the reasons why we're doing that is because our country needs our value set right now more than ever. Just imagine what our politics, what our society, what our culture would look like if everybody followed the Scout oath, law, motto, and slogan. If everybody was concentrated on bringing up our kids by building character, citizenship, fitness, mind, body, and spirit, and leadership. Just imagine what this society would look like. So this is what we need to do. There are people right in this room, right back there. Pat Boyd is changing Connecticut with this value set. And I'm so proud that I sat in the General Assembly in February where there were kids your age sitting there looking at Pat at the dais saying, well, if he can do that, I can do that. Andy, where are you, Andy? Andy's changing Tolland by his volunteer work in Tolland. So it is happening, but what we need to do is we need to make it pervasive in the society. When you look at it that way, who cares about our quota? What we want to do is get as many people activated into this, grown up into our culture, so that they can become the leaders that we really need. So with that, I'm going to hold up the yellow flag to say, if you need this to fly, hold it up. This one says Big Joe's Jog, which is not this Sunday, but next Sunday at Mattatuck. That's a shameless plug, isn't it? But if you need to wave this yellow flag, hey, something's wrong, contact your district executive, contact your district membership chair, contact myself or Alex. We're here to help. Please don't hesitate to use this flag. And so with that, the only thing left to do is wave this one. Have a great night, and here we go.